Hi everyone, my name is Karen. This is my channel Rather Be Reading, and today I'm bringing to you my March book haul. Alright guys, not too much to say in the intro to this. Let's just jump straight in and talk about all of the books that I acquired in March. We will, as always, start off with the library books that I picked up. I'm really lucky. I actually went into the library to pick up these holds. I think it was like in the week for, I did that on the weekend, and then within that next week they ended up shutting down due to the virus. So I got in and managed to pick these holds out before they completely closed, which was really good. So the first one that I picked up is Paper Girls Volume 6. This has been a graphic novel series that has been slowly really growing on me. It is YA, sci-fi, historical. So it's set in the 80s about a group of girls who have a paper delivery and weird stuff goes down on the night before Halloween. And I have really, like I said, it's been growing on me. I'm surprised by how much I've ended up enjoying this. So I've had this on hold for ages, and I finally managed to pick this up. We then have one that you guys will have seen in my TBR, which is Eternally Yours by Kate Tiernan, the third and final book in the Immortal Beloved series, which is a series that follows immortals. They are people who are very hard to kill. They can die, but it's very hard for them to die. They don't die through natural circumstances. And if they're shot or stabbed or anything like that, they would survive. It's basically unless they're burnt to death or beheaded or something like that, then they'll live. This, like I said, this is on my TBR because for some unknown reason, even though I picked this up with all of the others, this one is showing on my library app as though I've already renewed this 2 times. So I am planning to read this one this month, but it is one that I just picked up in March. The next one I picked up is The Crossing by Michael Connelly. This is the next book in the Harry Bosch series that I need to read. Excitingly, I think I'm in entirely new territory now with Michael Connelly. Even though I was reading all the books that were just for Bosch were new to me, there are a lot of crossovers with other characters from his universe. And because I had previously read the Mickey Haller series, whenever I got to those, it was rereads. But there are actually more, or at least one that I can think of, Mickey Haller books that were published as well, after I finished with that series and went back to Bosch. But where I'm up to kind of now in publication order, it's all entirely new. I haven't read anything, there's no more rereads for me in the books by him. When was this one published? 2015. Yeah, which is, I would say, probably around the time that I was very first picking him up. So that's exciting. Like I said, so I've got this next one to read in that series. In case you don't know or you haven't been on my channel, this is just basically Michael Connelly writes crime fiction. Harry Bosch is a police detective in LA, and he's a homicide detective and he solves homicides. I then picked up Shall We Dance by Maggie Alderson. This is one of the books that I need to read to complete one of my goals for books that have been on my TBR, on Goodreads or on my physically written out to read list for ages. I don't know what this is about. Is this, that movie with which is the Shall We Dance one? Is that the one with Jennifer Lopez and Richard Gere? Is that one? I don't know. I don't even know if I've seen that movie. I feel like I have, but I don't know if it's one of those movies you just feel like you've seen even though you never actually did because you've just seen the trailer. I don't know, and I don't know what this is about. It's actually quite chunky. But the writing's pretty big, but it is over 400 pages. But I don't know what it's about. I presume that this is just some form of women's fiction. Like I said, it was on, I need to read for one of those goals, so I picked this up. And then similarly, for one of those goals, I picked up Point by Brandy Colbert. This is interesting because this has obviously been on either my Goodreads TBR or my physically written out TBR for a really, really, really long time. But I have actually since, probably having written this down, read quite a few of Brandy Colbert's books. I'm not sure if this is her debut, but it's definitely one of her earlier published books. And again, I'm not actually sure what this is about. The title makes me think that it's about ballet. Yeah, well on her way to becoming an elite ballet dancer. I don't know what I don't know what it's about apart from that, but I have enjoyed, Brandy Colbert's books are the ones that I've read have had a lot of really great diversity in them, so I'll be interested to see how this kind of earlier one of her books kind of stacks up against those. I'm sorry if you can hear, the birds outside are like gone crazy. So I don't know if you guys can hear that. So I picked up that. And then the final book that I picked up from the library is The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte. I decided this was going to be my next classic that I pick up because I've read Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte and Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, and I thought, I think it's time to round it out so that I've read at least one from each of the three sisters. No idea what this is about. No idea how people feel about Anne Bronte as compared to Charlotte and Emily, but I'm going to give it a go. It's, how long is it? It's only like, well, it's actually under 400 pages, but obviously it's classic, like the text is small and kind of dense, so I look forward to reading this and seeing how it kind of stacks up compared to Jane Eyre and Wuthering Heights. So looking forward to getting to that at some point. So that is the library books. Now let's talk about ebooks. So I didn't get any NetGalley ARCs, which is a good thing because I already have too many, but I did purchase 6 ebooks in the month of March. So let's talk about those. So the first 3 that I have are all Colleen Hoover books. Shout out to Mel, who let me know on Twitter that Colleen Hoover had announced that due to the pandemic and stuff, to like help people out, or for whatever reason, like to give people some material to read while they were maybe locked down, she was having a number of her books be free on Kindle. And so I got 3 of her books that I didn't already own for free on Kindle, which was great. So I got the Never Never, I believe it's The Complete Thing by Colleen Hoover and Taryn Fisher. So that's one that when it was originally released, it was released in like 3 parts, but they were all like novella length. And I believe this is the complete collection of the 3 parts. This one is more, isn't like, because Colleen Hoover is known more for her like romancy type stuff. And this is more like mystery. It's got like more mystery elements to it, I believe. Which I think some of the first like mystery-ish stuff that Colleen Hoover wrote. And then the next one that I got by her was Too Late, which I believe is also like thriller-ish. But this is her one, I think, that she had originally published on like Wattpad or something like that, and then ended up releasing as its own novel. And then the third one of hers that I got for free was Verity, which is one of her, or if not her most recent one, which I believe it's just a straight-up adult thriller, which thriller is my favorite genre, so I'm pumped. And like I said, to get those for free, I was really happy to do that. So shout out to Mel for letting me know that was going on. The next one that I purchased was The Evidence Against You by Gillian McAllister. This one was on sale for $2.99. This is a thriller. Gillian McAllister, I mentioned a while ago. I saw a video by Emma from over at Drinking by My Shelf. She did a video, I don't know if it was just about this author specifically, or if she just talked about this author in a video. But she talked about, I think this author had like 4 or 5 books out, and she basically talked about all of them. Said that she'd enjoyed them all, some more than others. And I had basically just from that decided that I wanted to read all of Gillian McAllister. And I think I've got at least 1, if not 2, I think maybe just 1 of her other books on Kindle as well. And I saw this one was on sale. This one has a really interesting premise. It's about this woman whose father is being released from prison. He's been in prison for 17 years for murdering her mother. But she had a really great childhood with him. He was like, her beloved father. Like I said, and then he murdered her mum and was sent to jail, and he's now being released, and he wants to meet up with her to go over all of the evidence against him and explain why he's innocent, I believe. So that sounds very, very interesting. I then was really, really excited to see this one on sale because this is a really new release. So it's Rules for Perfect Murders by Peter Swanson, which I'm not sure if it's the title in the UK as well, but it appears to be the Australian title of the book that's titled 8 Perfect Murders in the US, but it's the same book. It was on sale for $1.64 on Kindle, and like I said, this book really recently came out, so I was really pumped to get this. And this one, I've read quite a few Peter Swanson. Well, I've read 2, and I own at least 2 others of his on my TBR, so he's definitely an author that I'm drawn to. And this one is about someone who writes an article about the 8 perfect murders in fiction, and then someone starts to kill the people in the same way as those murders that he talked about in that article, and so he gets drawn into that case. I have heard that the only issue with this book is that it does spoil the 8 fictional murders from those stories. So if you haven't read those, then you will be spoiled. And I had a quick check, and I've read a couple of them. There's an Agatha Christie that I've read. I've read a couple, but I probably will make an effort to get out from my library all of those books that are mentioned in this book and read those before I read that book, because I hate being spoiled, and especially for a mystery, like murder mystery. And then the final ebook that I purchased was Wild by Cheryl Strayed. This one was on sale for 99 cents. Again, I was really happy to see this on sale because I have been wanting to get a copy of this for ages. It's one of the nonfiction that I've been most drawn to reading. And I don't know why, because the idea of someone going to find themselves by hiking is so far removed from anything I could ever imagine myself doing. But I'm so fascinated by it. And then I think I was also fascinated by it. I was already interested, but then when Reese Witherspoon starred in the movie, that drew me in even more because I love Reese Witherspoon. So, it's a book that I kept thinking, oh, I'll find that secondhand somewhere, and then I just have never managed to find a copy. So then finally saw it on sale on Kindle, and I was like, yes, I'm purchasing that. So pumped to get my hands on that one. So they're the 6 ebooks. Now let's talk about the physical books that I picked up this month. So I did go over just my monthly order. It's my mum's fault. I'm blaming her. She wanted to go to the Savers near us to look for some books for herself, and she asked me to go with her. So clearly when I was there, I wasn't going to be able to just not buy anything. But I only picked up 4 things, so I'm pretty happy with that because I could have gone way crazier than that, let's be honest. So the first one that I picked up is The Dutch House by Ann Patchett. Now, I honestly have no idea what this is about, but I picked it up because I recognized it immediately because it's up for a lot of the literary prizes at the moment. And I have actually heard quite a lot about Ann Patchett previously, like her previous works. And like I said, I don't actually know what this is about, and this is one that I probably maybe shouldn't have purchased because I don't know anything about it. So do I know if I'll even like it? I don't know. But like I said, I just recognized it because of all the hype kind of around it because of the literary prizes, and so I decided to pick it up. So I picked that one up. And then I picked up The Perfect Wife by J.P. Delaney. This is, of course, just an author that I recognize, and like because he or she, is there an author bio? No, there is not. How do I know? I don't know. They are a thriller author that you see kind of going around BookTube quite a bit. They've got the sticker on here for the girl before, not a sticker, the thing that looks like a sticker and you can't take off. And I believe, oh my God, so much cat hair. That went straight into my mouth. And I owned the girl before, and so I saw this one. Maybe I've got another one. No, I think I always get this author for some reason mixed up with, I can't even think who it is now. There's another author that's also initials. B.A. Paris, but I always get the two of them confused. And so when I saw this, I kept checking my spreadsheet of the books that I own because I was convinced that I must already own this, and I was confused when I didn't. But then I think it was because I was getting confused because I do own quite a few B.A. Paris, but I didn't, and so I purchased it. I said I don't actually know the details of what this is about, but it's a thriller. Another one that I don't know what it's about, but I picked up The Passengers by John Mars. So John Mars has been getting like a little bit of buzz on BookTube lately, mainly due to his release of The One. But one of my friends, Michelle, who I talk to quite a lot on Boxer, has been mentioning recently about how obsessed she's been with John Mars. And she was so excited when I got approved for the most recent John Mars that is coming out on from NetGalley. And so when I saw this at Savers, I was like, well, I can't not get it now. And again, like I said, I don't know what this is about. 8 intended victims, who lives, who dies, you decide. From what I gather, John Mars writes a little more thrillers with a little more of a sci-fi twist. So I don't actually know what it's about, but I purchased it because of that. And then the last one that I purchased from Savers is Let's Get Invisible by R.L. Stine. So I quite some time ago I saw a bunch of the Goosebumps books secondhand, and I decided that I wanted to purchase to have on my shelves as like a nostalgia thing, the first 10 books in that series. And I could never find, I was missing book number 6, which is this one. And ever since then, that was like maybe a year, at least a year, if not like closer to 2 years ago. And every time I've had a secondhand bookshop since then, I've like checked the like Goosebumps that they have to see if I could pick up this one that I was missing from the first 10. And I've never been able to find it. And and they had 3 copies of this. So I've gone from never being able to find it to having 3 copies to choose from. So I finally grabbed that just to round out my collection of the first 10. They are on my TBR. They're all will be rereads, but they are books that I do eventually want to read. So I probably shouldn't have put them on my TBR shelf, but I did. So this one will go on there with them. So those are the books I picked up from Savers, and then I do just have my monthly order. So this actually came in in the mail on the 30th and 31st of March, even though I purchased them really early in March. I think because of the virus, there's been quite a few delays with shipping and things, but they did finally arrive in March. So the first one that I picked up is Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. This is a book that I've wanted to read for a really long time. It's the Colleen Hoover that I was originally, like when I first started hearing about Colleen Hoover and her hype, this is the book that I most wanted to read by her, that I was most drawn to. I don't know why. It's a romance, I think, like a friends with benefits romance. I don't know why I was so drawn to it back then, but people used to rave about this, so it might have just been because of that. But I've had this on my wish list for ages, and for some reason it's always really expensive, but I did purchase a copy of it finally. I then picked up a copy of The Bride Test by Helen Huang. I have read this. This one isn't adding to my TBR. This is the sequel to The Kiss Quotient, and I did own a copy of that. And even though I didn't enjoy this one quite as much as The Kiss Quotient, I did still really, really enjoy it, and I wanted to have a copy of this so I could put them on my shelf together. And The Kiss Quotient, I think's got a, bright yellow spine, and then this one's got this like pinkish reddish spine, so they're going to look really pretty next to each other. So I grabbed that. And then the final book that I purchased is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This one has been on my wish list basically since I first heard about this coming out. It is dark fantasy, but like urban fantasy, because it's set at Yale. I believe we follow a main character who can see ghosts, I think. And it's got something to do with secret societies and stuff as well. I heard a lot of mixed things about this, but I am still really intrigued to read it. I like my books really dark and gritty. And so I think that I'm really going to enjoy this, but I did finally purchase a copy of it. I don't know when I'll get to that, because it is, I believe, the first book in a series, and I hate reading books in series when the whole series isn't out, because I hate waiting, because I inevitably end up just rereading all of the books again, because I like to have the information as fresh in my mind when I go into sequels. So yeah, I don't know when I'll get to that, but I did finally purchase it. So that's it. Those are all of the books that I acquired in the month of March. I would love to chat with you guys in the comments down below if you've read any of these books, if you guys have any thoughts on them, or how is your guys' purchasing going. Like I said, I definitely acquired a few more this month than I should have, but hopefully things will be a bit more calmed down in April. Well, they probably will be, because we can't go anywhere. So we'll have to see what happens in April, but I would love to chat with you guys down below. Please like this video if you liked it. Please subscribe if you want to see more from my channel. That is all I have for this video today. Bye guys.